our beliefs around money are the things that kind of depicts how much money they'll make. So, like, tell me your beliefs, and if you want to hang out with me, I'll tell you exactly how much you make. Or I can tell if you're on the downhill and on the decline, or if you're ascending and if you're going to be making more money in the near future. And simply by the way that you talk, the way that you perceive things, and like the subconscious language that you have, that whether you realize it or not, is being had. That conversation is being had, and whether or not you know it, you are having it. And so one of the ways that I realized it was by talking to people that were far, much further ahead of me, that were growing and in a state of growth and a state of doing way more than me and had a lot of more experience. Based off of their reaction and their body language towards me, based off of the things I would say, was an instant feedback, almost like a tuning fork as to what my beliefs were and the way that I saw the world. If I ever said anything and it kind of like scared people away, I knew that I had something intrinsically. I was like, okay, this is, whatever I just said there was important. It's like a tape that I play over and over again. It's like that I get that feedback, that reaction. It's almost as if like I just hit a golf ball and the golf ball goes 300 yards, or maybe it fades to the left or it draws to the right. I know that what I just did with my swing impacted that hit. And so, just the same as like when I talk to people that are farther ahead of me and how they react to things is a quick response to like the thoughts and the beliefs that I have. Another way that you could do it, another tool that I've seen to be really helpful, is just to write your thoughts down on paper and then develop this metacognition, this ability to look at the way that you view the world and the way that you see the world, so that you could break down, like, so you can actually see from a third party perspective what are your thoughts. So, a good tool for this or a good exercise is to get a journal. You guys could do that right after watching this video. Get a journal, write down your thoughts for. Honestly, I found like the more that you do it, the better you can kind of see it. You can kind of get through the fluffy bullshit at the beginning. Write down, like, go sit down for like 45 minutes and just write down everything that you think, all of your thoughts. Write down the way that you see the world, the way you think of the world, your future, what that looks like, and and then what you can start seeing is what's in there. One thing to notice is what are the things that limit you, that make things feel limited, like limited resources, like money is hard to make, or I can't do that, or that's hard, or that's difficult, or I am not capable of doing so, or like these I am statements, or these things that are depictions of the environment that aren't based in reality and aren't based in data. Like to say that like right now we live in like a bad economy that you can't make any money in is a limiting belief. Is there real data to back that up? They may have so, and there's some ways you can find out. But that doesn't mean there's not a great economy in Zimbabwe. There's great economies all over the world. There's also poor economies all over the world. There's always money out there. And so you're not limited with the internet. You're not limited to just your area. So anytime that you start to see that, like, oh, because the economy is bad, I'm this way, or because whoever's in president, like, whatever, whoever's president right now, I can't make more money, or it's like it's hard for that, or because of like, this thing going on in the economy or these jobs, those are all limiting beliefs. I'm just kind of pointing them out for you guys, so at least you know what they are. And what I will say is, if you have a ton of limiting beliefs, I don't want to hang out with you. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I don't know who you are, and I'm not gonna spend time with you because they can be contagious sometimes if you're not very strong-willed. And so you'll see that when you talk to people that are of success. So if you feel like you're scaring everybody away, or like nobody wants to share anything, or nobody wants to give away the information, it's probably because they just don't want to give the information away to you. You're probably one of those people that they don't want to give the information away to, because not because it's like, oh, they got to afford that, they have to keep it secret or something like that, but because they just don't want to spend time with you. They don't want to give you that information. You make them feel poor hanging out with you, and how you make them feel poor is your limiting beliefs. My job is a cakewalk. And so I don't want to feel poor. I don't want to feel broke. So I'm not going to hang out with people that have limiting beliefs. I had to understand what those were, and then I had to stay as far away as I possibly could from them, or acknowledge them and be like, okay, yeah, that's not me, and not associating those things to myself.
I'm going to show you a way to potentially make money by pairing Amazon with the power of AI without ever selling physical products. And I promise you've never heard about this before. I just created some simple digital products.
So, another way, I mean, the real thing is just like it's developing this metacognition, this ability. When I say that, it's a fancy word for it, this ability to look at yourself from a third party perspective or a third party lens. That's why I like recording these videos and I watch it back. I'm able to learn a lot about myself. That's why journaling helps out a lot. So it's just anything that kind of limits the thing. So it's like, oh, there's only like so many trees in the world. That's limiting. If anything that like sounds like okay, there's less of these things out there, is a limiting belief. And so the more that you understand that there are limiting beliefs and how to stay away from them, and then as soon as you start having limiting beliefs, like it is for me, I still have them sometimes in the day where I'm just like, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, I'm not capable of doing this, or is it really me that's able to do this, or am I really that like, am I really who I say I am? And sometimes it gets to my head, and then I have to realize that what's going on in my life, what are my circumstances, what's going on, if I had good sleep, if I taken care of myself, if I got to the gym, and where is the state of my mental health? And so for me, as somebody that's becoming really successful, it's a constant recognition of where my emotions at, where my feelings at, what are the
So
little things that I say to myself, and it's constantly managing that. And the better that you can